I have 5 tips for you. So first tip is don't stop writing. If you if you flow for the first time, everybody's gonna talk really fast, or it's gonna feel that way. But never stop writing. Leave spaces if you skip over something, and don't pause in the middle because the person who's speaking is just gonna go right by you. So if you get flustered in the middle, um, it's more likely that you're not going to get anything um, since that point because you just got flustered. And you shouldn't be trying to write down any word for that matter. Just write down the important stuff and leave spaces if you need to fill them in later because you didn't get it. Second is abbreviations are going to save your life. So you might already know how to abbreviate. You take notes at school, so you have your own style. But some tips are skip vowels. That's how most people abbreviate if necessary. When you can, skip vowels when you can. So like abbreviate would be abbreviate, or flowing would be flowing. So skip vowels. And other abbreviations, let's see. You could do greater than, less than if you're comparing numbers. Equal to, not equal to. This could be no. This could be money, $sign. Don't write dollars, write this sign. Increase, decrease. Also, these stuff with slashes in it. So you mean so with, or because. Sorry, because doesn't have a slash through it. Or with, without. I'm still going to put down because. Well, I guess you could still throw the slash through it. Sorry, because OW might be outweigh. So abbreviate. So those are my number 2 and number 1. Let's move on to my third tip, which is keep things legible. And my tips would be using multiple colors, as I said before. I also write really small. Most debaters try to get really thin tipped pens to write really small to keep yourselves organized. If you can't really, if your handwriting is still bad, another tip would be, what also helps for me is write in capital letters, because you wouldn't need to distinguish between capitals and lower cases. You just have only one set of letters you could work with. Also, write numbers really big. So not like this, but like this. Put a circle through it on your flow, because some people get lost track of what number argument they're on. Also, on that note, box or circle, important contentions. What else? So draw lines to distinguish between evidence versus contentions, the rest of the contention, or another speech from another, especially if you're flowing vertically. What I'm talking about is, for example, let's do this in blue. So if somebody has a contention, so contention number 1, you write down the contention. I try to make the evidence more visible by drawing something like this and putting the source on the top and then writing whatever statistics. And then if another source comes up, I do another that. So you could use that. Other debaters do that as well, to distinguish evidence from the contention. And also when you have a contention down, and if another person responds to it, like that. Some people just want to draw a line through it to show that it ended there, and then they start another thing, and then they draw a line there to show that it ended, to kind of keep like imaginary boundaries when you're especially flowing vertically. All right, keep things legible. Fourth tip. Main points. As I said, you don't need to write down anything, and if you seriously can't hear what the other person said or can't keep track, contentions, write down contentions. Even if you have nothing on your paper down, try to get the contentions down. And on top of that, get the subpoints. So listen to those things, especially if somebody gives an overview in a speech before an impromptu speech says, and the opponent says, I'm going to go over this, this, and this. Kind of anticipate what he's going to say. And listen for main points, contention, subpoints. Also, citations for evidence. I usually write down the author or the publication and the date. Try to get those down, the years. And especially also important are the statistics, actual numbers. Keep your ears open for these numbers, authors, these contentions, and you'll be mostly good to go. Fifth point of the day, fifth tip of the day is practice, 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 because it's good. The only thing that's going to make you better. And you could practice flowing by debating more, but also flow other people's rounds, flow practice rounds. Also, when you watch out rounds after you get eliminated at a tournament, go into those rounds and flow them. Also, another method is flowing songs, flowing TV broadcasts, random things you could hear, basically. You could record yourself in flow, or also random list of things. Some teams practice by somebody else kind of yelling out a deck of cards like um, Ace of Hearts, uh, Queen of Diamonds, and just a straight list of a deck of cards, and then the debaters just flow everything down. So, best tip to get better is practice. So, no shortcuts.